Hello, this is Susan, and for the next half hour, I'll be reading from Buffalo Rising on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. The first article is under Events and Festivals. Getting to know Wonderbrink. Wonderbrink, formerly Buffalo is Creative, is a resourceful community undertaking that hosts events, gatherings, and showcases for local artists, musicians, and other culinary-minded types. These social sessions, which include themed breakfasts, live performances, and community engagements, take place at different venues throughout the city, such as PAUSA, Art House, and BB's at the Gallery. Wonderbrink is a monthly sliver of time to spark imagination, make connections, and change everyone's creative batteries by embracing different perspectives. For the last 9 years, we've celebrated creativity with coffee and donuts and high fives. In reflection, we've built a community dedicated to exploring the many facets of curiosity, imagination, and boundless wonder in a space where we can meet, learn, and interact with those who approach every challenge with a sense of joy and determination. Another way that Wonderbrink bolsters the creative community is by offering $250 nanogrants to people with obtainable ideas and concepts. The best way to discover Wonderbrink is to sign up for their newsletter, eBlast, and then attend an event. Currently, there are a couple of engagements planned in the coming weeks. Breakfast at BB's at the Gallery. Jason Yang, technology teacher. In this continued series on creative empowerment, Jason explores the opportunities for technology inside and beyond the classroom. That is Friday, January 9th, 8:30 to 10 a.m. And that's BB's at the Gallery, 203 Main Street in Buffalo. Celebrating Creative Community. An indoor picnic. That's Monday, January 19th, 5:30 to 7 p.m. And at the Buffalo Art House Project at 321 Pennsylvania Street in Buffalo. Tunes by DJ Who Cares. Next, in browsing the city, the Pothole Bandit says people and dogs need salt. The Intersection Cafe and the Buffalo Bakery have teamed up to help the Buffalo Pothole Bandit to source paw-friendly ice salt this winter. The Pothole Bandit, infamous for his or her clever and creative sidewalk crack infills using mosaics and found objects, has also been known to address icy walkways as well. And thanks to the hard work of the Pothole Bandit, neglected sidewalks have been getting salted. Our pups need some safety too, so if you'd like to help us afford more pet-safe melt for dog-heavy areas, please bring cash donations in person to us at the Intersection Cafe and at Buffalo Bakery. Cash only, please. Credit, debit cards not accepted. And the Interstate Cafe at 100 Elmwood Avenue and the Buffalo Bakery is at 47 Allen Street. If you would like to obtain salt or pet-safe melt to put down in your own neighborhood, reach out to at Buffalo Pothole Bandit to have some delivered to you. Also, the Pothole Bandit also takes hole requests, so be sure to keep a lookout for the perfect size holes to see if your holiday infill wish might come true. Next, we have 42 North Barrel Jam 6. 42 North Brewing has announced the brewery lineup for its Barrel Jam 6 event. On Saturday, January 24th, starting at 2 p.m., 42 North will host its 6th Barrel Jam, featuring renowned breweries in New York State and beyond, including Wild East, Eli Fish, Prison City, Mares Creek, Jack's Abbey, Brewery, Adinas, Ellicottville Brewing Company, Strange Bird, 1911 Cider, Drowned Lands, and Brewery Ommegang. Barrel Jam is a lot more than beers. The event is jam-packed with all sorts of other events and activities, such as live music and winter sports activities around the brewery's campus. Those activities include the highly anticipated Rail Jam Ski Snowboard competition hosted by Holiday Valley. Then there's Buffalo's premier funk band, the Funk Knights, and that will hit the stage inside the brewery at 5 p.m. This is one of our favorite events of the winter, states 42 North founder Jim Simperman. It's a great opportunity for beer lovers to stretch their boundaries with some of the most unique barrel-aged beers in the country. From beer samplings to the Rail Jam to Funk Nights, this year's Barrel Jam promises to over-deliver when it comes to its wintertime festival offerings. 42 North Brewery is located at 25 Pine Street, East Aurora, New York, 14052. Tickets start at $40 and include 3 hours of beer tasting, live music, and a complimentary tasting glass. A limited number of VIP tickets will also be sold that offer festival attendees an additional hour of tasting. Tickets are now on sale here or at 42 North Brewing Company. And next, we have a big deal. Golisano buys One News Plaza. Tom Golisano has found a home for a Golisano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship Buffalo campus, a business school he founded in Rochester. Golisano purchased One News Plaza today from Douglas Jamel for an even $10 million. For Jamel, the sale represents a further retreat from grand development plans that have been slowed by a tight commercial real estate lending market. Jamel doubled his money as he purchased the property in August 2024 for $5.2 million. The Golisano Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship offers a certificate in business and entrepreneurship, and a advanced certificate in AI and business. Its Rochester campus is located in the town of Brighton. Jamel purchased the property located at Washington and Scott Streets from news owner Lee Enterprises. The 5-story building opened in 1973 and contains 160,000 square feet of space. The sale to Golisano also includes a large printing press building behind the office building. Jamel owns the HSBC Atrium building, the parking lots behind it, and the Buffalo News parking lot at 33 Scott Street. Those parking lots are being eyed as a possible site for a soccer stadium. In 2022, the Buffalo News moved its offices to the Larkin district, downsizing significantly to just 20,000 square feet of space in the process, and announced that its local printing operations would be shut down and handled in Cleveland. Uniland Development had expected to redevelop the complex for one or more users and with one or more users, but backed out of the deal in early 2023. Jamel purchased the property without concrete reuse plans, but talked about a possible residential conversion of the office buildings and commercial space in the press building. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Rising on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Now we have more community news. The Big Reveal, African Heritage Food Co-op. The Preservation Board will be reviewing plans for the African Heritage Food Co-op Market and Internet Cafe at its meeting. Plans call for renovating and expanding an existing 3,838 square feet of historic buildings at 238 Carlton and construct an addition and deck on a vacant lot at 240 Carlton. 3 off-street parking spaces are proposed behind the co-op, accessible from Locust Street. KCB Architecture designed the project. The proposed project, parcel combination of 238 and 240 Carlton and at 189 Locust, to be combined as one parcel. Special use permit requested to establish neighborhood shop use in the N2R zone for change of use to convert from R3B occupancy to B occupancy. Alterations and renovations for new establishment to include addition to the rear second-level portion of existing structure, stair and elevator addition, exterior deck, accessible ramp, and site work improvements as per plans submitted. The existing building features wood-framed floors and walls, a painted brick exterior, load-bearing walls, wood windows, and an asphalt shingle roof. Iron columns from the original storefront remain at the entry. Renovations will rebuild the fire-damaged roof and second floor, add an elevator and stair tower, exterior porch, and accessible ramp. Proposed materials will match existing brick in size, pattern, and finish. New wood arched windows will replace the old ones. The front entrance will feature an aluminum storefront system and restored original iron columns, and the vertical circulation tower will have a brick exterior and wood arched windows. The co-op will be located on the first floor of the building with bathrooms, kitchen, and cafe on the second floor. The building, built circa 1876 by Peter Knapp, was a neighborhood grocery store for 93 years, before ultimately becoming vacant in the year 2000. Plans for the Carlton Street location began in 2019 when an anonymous donor purchased the fire-damaged structure and donated it to the co-op. With assistance from Preservation Buffalo Niagara, the building's roof was repaired and the structure was stabilized in 2019. After the TOPS terror attack in May 2022, the state announced that Empire State Development will invest $3 million in the African Heritage Food Cooperative, a collection of organizations that will create a locally owned and operated food cooperative that will ensure the community has access to affordable and healthy food options. And next we have an article. This includes downtown. That's historic, the North Star Building. The North Star Building, today known as Bank of America Building, located at 560 Main Street, aka 10 Fountain Plaza, has been nominated to the New York State and National Registers of Historic Places. Simonelli Real Estate is planning convert nearly all of the 9-story building that opened in November 1982 to residential use. The historic designation creates opportunity for the North Star Building to be revitalized, to become a catalyst in transforming downtown from a traditional 9-to-5 central business district, currently focused on corporate offices, into a central connectivity district that emphasizes downtown as an area for socializing, collaborating, and experiencing culture. The designation also unlocks key advantages that make development more viable and impactful, including, first, historic preservation incentives. Historic preservation certification and listing on the state and national registers of historic places makes the property eligible for certain grants and tax credits that may significantly improve the financial feasibility of redevelopment into a mixed-use building anchored by multi-family housing and retail and amenity spaces. Also, enhanced redevelopment outlook. The improved financial feasibility outlook supports plans for redeveloping the North Star Building that complement broader revitalization efforts around Fountain Plaza and the Theater District. This includes projects sponsored by Shays Performing Arts Center, the expansion of Odo's workforce in Fountain Plaza, DeUville University's new medical school, and programming by Buffalo Place and Buffalo Urban Development Corporation, known as the BUCD. Together, these initiatives are redefining downtown Buffalo's identity with an emphasis on living, socializing, collaborating, and cultural experiences. It's a unique opportunity to honor the building's innovative past while considering its future in an increasingly more vibrant downtown Buffalo, said Kyle Simonelli, president of Simonelli Real Estate Corporation. The North Star Building is a 9-story steel-framed concrete commercial office building at 560 Main Street in downtown Buffalo. Many of the building's original materials remain intact to convey its original state as an early 1980s office building designed with cost-conscious energy efficiency as a primary motivation. Although it's less than 50 years old, the North Star building meets Criterion Consideration G for its pioneering energy efficient design. The building was also an important formative project in the development of the significant architectural career of Mark Mendel, 1939 through 2016, who would go on to serve as president of Canon Design from 1992 to 2015. The building's exterior reflects its site-sensitive design aimed toward energy efficiency in a downtown area. The 9-story tower dominates the site, skewed at a bold angle from the corner of Pearl Street and West Huron Street. The tower rises on a northwest-southeast alignment with regular alternations of ribbon windows and concrete panels under a flat roof. A 2- and 3-story portion extends to the sidewalk at the pedestrian level along Pearl Street, running north-south along Pearl Street on the southwest side of the tower. The recessed main entrance sits at the junction of the tower and the shorter portion at an angle, accessed from West Huron Street up a wide set of concrete stairs. Precast concrete panels divide each floor. A ribbon of single-pane glass windows wraps around the building between the panels, topped by sections of pale gray painted aluminum. Floors lack variation. Bold sitting and geometry of the building's massing defines the exterior. The tower's northeastern profile is predominantly flush, and the southwestern combines recessed windows for shade with light shelves that project indirect light into the interior. A few years after the building was completed, the building was connected to adjacent buildings via a system of elevated skywalks. The skywalks, which are outside the period of significance, are external, ending at the building's exterior walls, and are not considered part of the property. They have been excluded from the nomination. A second-story enclosed skywalk connects to the adjacent Hyatt, the Genesee Building, across West Huron Street to the south. A second-story enclosed skywalk connects to the Augsburger parking ramp to the west across Pearl Street, connecting a glass corridor that was constructed to the north to the KeyBank Center towers circa 2000. 2 large garage doors on the west elevation of the 2-story portion near the northwest corner can be accessed from Pearl Street. The interior plan of the North Star building reflects its pioneering design and its status as the first major energy-efficient, tall commercial office building in downtown Buffalo. Central entrances on the northeast and southwest access a tile-floored central library flanked by offices to the southeast and the northwest. An atrium skylight spills natural light down to the ground floor. Stairwells paired with elevator lobbies flank the northeastern entrance, and a mezzanine corridor overlooks the lobby. The plan of the upper floors in the tower are very similar, reflecting the desire for maximum flexibility. The stairwells and elevators peg the center of each floor, and tile bathrooms sit between them. A corridor wraps around the floor on most floors with non-structural partitions defining offices along the exterior walls. On the third and fifth floors, the corridor has been given over to additional office spaces on one side and an open floor plan. Offices are divided by drywall partition walls, in some cases with single pane glass, facing the corridor, such as on portions of the fifth and sixth floor. The corridors and most of the offices are carpeted. Acoustic panel drop ceilings are in most of the offices, as is energy-efficient fluorescent lighting. A vacant location on the east end of the sixth floor contains acoustic panel drop ceilings with smaller square panels, as well as 9 light inset lighting fixtures. The windows are character defining for their energy efficient, site specific design and orientation, and are intact in their original configuration and materials throughout. A light shelf system is visible inside the building, demonstrating their, for the early 1890s, innovative design aimed toward energy consciousness. The windows differ between the northeast and southwest elevations, indicating their relationship to building orientation to maximize or minimize sun and wind exposure. The profile of the windows on the north is basically flush with the exterior wall, while the windows on the south are recessed into the wall. Looking from inside a typical office through a window on the south side of the building, the light shelves are clearly visible as an extended, angled exterior sill. At the transom level above, the system is visible as a glass box used to redistribute incoming light reflected by the shelves below. The distinctive system is clearly intact on each floor of the building. If you would like more information on Buffalo's downtown renovations and the North Star building, you may call 716-821-5555 if you would like to hear the rest of this article. Our staff here will then read it to you. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from Buffalo Rising. We read from Buffalo Rising on Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Your reader has been Susan, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service with broadcast studios at 1199 Harlem Road in Cheektowaga. Radio readings are broadcast 24 hours a day, every day, to area people who are blind or have a print disability. This year, our agency marks almost 40 years on the air with more than 300,000 hours of radio readings to those without sight. Our broadcast signal is provided at no charge by WNED. The Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service website is nfradioreading.org. For more information, call 716-821-5555. Good morning. Welcome to another broadcast day of the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, a private not-for-profit organization. As always, please feel free to contact us with your comments or suggestions, and stay with us. Reading the Buffalo News coming up next.